Mercury, welcome.
What it do? Welcome to you, sir.
Hey, we've been going back and forth on this for quite a while, and today is an exciting day where we've finally gotten to the point where we can introduce the concept and the people to the TechScenio Hall Show. I am Tech P, government name Jeffrey McKinney, and you are, sir,
Merc Hall.
Merc Hall. So what are we doing here in this space, Merc?
In this space, in my opinion, we talk about current events and technology. And yeah, basically that's it. Technology and current events and how they mix and match in today's world of social media.
And I can't help. I mean, that's very well said. There's some things that come to mind as you talk about the current events and technology, and then specifically around social media. Hopefully, you all saw Mr. Zuckerberg at the congressional hearing last week when they didn't treat him too kindly. I believe everything was just and fair, but we'll get into that. But I can't let this moment pass without saying that this is also about building community. And so I am also the founder of Ontegration. Ontegration is a digital space that's envisioned to be able to provide resources and unite community so that together we can all go out, have a great time, and thrive. There's a set of resources that we curate specifically for your need. And so we've also built into our website a way for people to come and tell us what's up. And if I were to give a bit of the website is www.ontegration.com. And so we call it a what's up report. The what's up report is there so that in those times when you feel lost or alone, you don't know where to turn, you can just come and tell us what's up. I want to before we jump in, there's two things that I want to highlight. Today's date is 2424, which if you multiply 12 times 2, you get 24. And so I couldn't help but notice that math and those numbers. We have been joined and collaborating for how long now? I would say it's been a couple years now, Merc.
Yeah, you would be accurate.
And I think the perfect opening is for us to say how did I'm going to play it again, and then Merc, I want you to tell the story of how this actually came to be with us being prepared to have something so icy as this Merc Universe production. Merc, how did you come up with this?
Well, actually, I think you came up with that. But Arsenio Hall was definitely one of the most popular shows growing up. One of the best shows that had come on television. Very popular, and it had so many of the beloved entertainers that we enjoyed growing up that I'm sure that stuck out in your mind. And for us to be somewhat of a podcast or a talk show, like that's something that would be, paramount in getting us on the right foot, right? Because if Arsenio or TechScenio couldn't get it done, who can? Now, the character is a digital representation of Tech P or Jeffrey McKinney. So we already had that, but um, we obviously couldn't. We don't have Arsenio Hall. We don't know Arsenio, right? Or we know of Arsenio, but we don't personally have a relationship with Arsenio. So uh, it wouldn't have been wise for us to make this the Arsenio Hall show, but it is the TechScenio Hall show. He is Tech P, I'm Mert Hall, and so TechScenio Hall seemed fitting. Uh, and we definitely intend to bring culture in addition to technology and animation and entrepreneurship to the show. So combining all those things, I felt that it would be fitting to have an intro like the TechScenio Hall intro that you've just seen.
So I should back up and tell that Mercury is the CEO and founder of Merc Universe and also the virtual likeness thought leader of diverse perspectives and integration. And so he's saying that I came up with it. No, I actually just spoke about what Arsenio meant to my childhood, if I recall the conversation correctly. And I was talking about throughout this journey of going through the suffering and pain and having to rebuild myself that I found the most joy in recalling the times of when I was a youngster. And so I remember crawling in bed and watching Arsenio and just checking out everybody that was on there. And I spoke about one day we would have a talk show or a podcast, he and I, and we would show all of these creations. And about maybe 3 or 4 days later, Merck just pinged my phone, and it was the TechScenio Hall entrance. So I just want to make it clear that one of Merck's gifts is as you're speaking to him, he's able to imagine bringing your ideas to life. So I never did ask him to create that. I never did even see it as a possibility until Mercury delivered the TechScenio Hall entrance. And with that said, it's such a masterpiece. We got to run it back one more time. So let's let that fly. Merc, so when you first went to create this,
Mm-hmm.
what did you imagine it would turn out like? And when you saw the final product, was it what you envisioned or was it greater or what was your sentiment?
It turned out exactly like I knew it would turn out. Like I know what it's gonna look like. I have a vision in my head, and thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. I have a vision in my head, and what I try to do is capture my vision and put it out and make it exactly what I thought it would be. So that is what I thought it would be. I knew what the Arsenio Hall introduction looked like, and I was like, I need the Arsenio Hall, but I need it to be TechScenio. So we don't have Arsenio, but we can put TechScenio in here, and we already have TechScenio. So at that point, all I need to know is what you want to be wearing as a character, and it was an outfit that you had on another one of your presentations, and I know that you thought that the outfit was icy, and so we aim to please when dealing with our customers, right? So and it was something that's eye catching, right? You had your fuchsia pants with the navy jacket, your fade, and everything else is reminiscent of Arsenio, right? So we just replaced Arsenio with you and we let it rip. And so obviously it looks exactly like I thought it would. It looks just like the intro, only we substituted Tech P for Arsenio. And
It's a
in
hit.
a nutshell, that's pretty much it.
It's a hit, and we have, I would say, how many of these types of animation Merc emojis is my virtual likeness or my likeness is known in Merc universe world as a Merc emoji. How many Merc emojis would you say that you've done for the people thus far?
I say we have in the metaverse, there are about 100 Merc emojis, I would imagine. Various emojis, right? So a Merc emoji or Merc emoji, it's however it's obviously it's based upon me. I'm the creator of Mercury Universe, and the products are Merc emojis or 3D avatars created in the user's likeness. So I've been doing this for a little while now, and they range from athletes to entertainers to uh, cats and dogs, right? Um, Mascots, like my school mascot is a Merc emoji. My daughter has a Merc emoji. My wife,
My
Jeff,
wife,
his wife, um,
my
all have
late, my late, my late Bella, my beloved Bella. When Bella on January 1, 2023, um, left us, um, I, I wasn't happy about it. I was saddened. It still
really
makes me
so.
a bit sad to talk about. But in discussing that with Merck delivered virtual videos or creations of Bella and I riding in the car together, I think was one of them. And then
Mhm.
there was another where we were sitting on the sofa together. And so when we launched inside of Once Integration, we have a part of our nonprofit is called The People's Pets. One of the first posts that I made in that space was in remembrance of Bella. And so um, what can we not do? What can you not do as it relates to recreating or doing what you're called to do with Merc emojis? What are your limitations?
I don't know that there are any. Um, my objective is to approach each project like it was my own project, and it's difficult to tell me no, right? If I want something, it's difficult for someone to say that can't be done, right? Because I created a 3D avatar created in your likeness that looks like you out of nothing, right? And so I knew that it could be done. I had visions of doing it, and I went and got a patent behind my idea because I wanted it so bad. The ultimate, the end game for the Merc emoji, right, is to create 3D avatars for everyone in the world, and then for those with smartphones to be able to communicate via their Merc emoji via whatever platform they want to use, or just through text, right? So the ultimate goal is for the Merc emoji to be used instead of your traditional emoji. And that's because initially the emojis were cool, the traditional emojis are cool, but they don't always say exactly what I want to say, right? And I'm sure if I have that issue, then that's the same issue everyone else has. So you want to solve a problem, right? And that's the reason I was granted a patent because you can have a patent if it is agreed, if the government agrees that you are solving a problem. And the problem that we were solving was to have emojis that communicated exactly how you would like to communicate. And so it works out, right? And so to get back to your original question, I'm going to fight to get your dream across. And we're generally not going to stop until you see what you thought you wanted to see, right? And so at this point, there's nothing that I've been asked to do that I haven't been able to accomplish as far as a Merc emoji or a 3D avatar, right? I myself, my daughter, this Christmas just got a kitten, and uh,
Shout out young Nova.
shout out Nova.
Yeah, shout out
So
young Nova.
so we before the first quarter, we should have Nova her own Merc emoji, right, to represent the totality of the family. And I think that'll be a good thing because she is a cutie, in my opinion, of course. Uh, but I generally don't. I generally don't bring ugly animals into the house. You know, to each his own, right? Uh, definitely not. So,
Some animals are so ugly that they're cute.
so I've heard. But if I see
I've
them,
seen some.
but if I see them and they don't fit the bill, then they can't come through the door. You have to leave them out there. Um, just in my personal house, in my personal home. Everywhere else, they can roam free. You know, this is the land of the free, the home of the brave, supposedly. And so um, it is what it is. But like I said, to each his own. We don't discriminate. If you want it done, we're going to try to make it happen, you know, unless you're an unruly character, unless you've done something to me that I can't forgive, we're going to make your dreams happen. Uh,
So with that said, I think we should play the next piece because it kind of makes it very, very simple and uh, further articulates and solidifies exactly what we're about. And
you're in control.
At Our Diverse Perspectives, we focus on supporting business owners and entrepreneurs so that communities prosper. To learn more about how we can support you, please visit www.ourdiverseperspectives.com. Sign up for your evaluation today.
so I know I cut you off, but I wanted to make sure that we hit that at that specific time, because if anyone out there at any given time decides that they want to be able to leverage this type of technology and this type of competence and know-how, the way that you do that is you visit www.ourdiverseperspectives, just like my Mercmoji just told you, and you fill out the form for us to schedule some time with you. And from there, that's where Merc and the magic begins. So with that said, we said that this show is going to talk about current events and technology. The one that I want to bring up at this time, and I don't know that we will get much further past this one because this one is so meaty. This Wednesday,
And
I
hold
was
on, I'm gonna
traveling.
let you finish, Kanye. Um,
Uh-oh.
but no. This should be simple. On my end, I couldn't actually hear any sound, so I just want to know. I just want to confirm that you actually heard sound on the piece that you just showed.
I did, and
Okay,
hopefully everybody else did. And it
awesome.
was saying exactly what I just said about go to www.ourdiverseperspectives.com, sign up for your evaluation today. And it was my voice with the Merc emoji that you created. And so this is the TechScenio Hall Show episode 1, which means that we are not expecting perfection. We'll play it back. Maybe there's sound, maybe there's not. However, we actually did what we said we were going to do and took a step in the right direction. So Tech P and Merc Universe, we can feel good about ourselves because that's what life is about. It's about moving forward without fear pursuing and not having to understand, but knowing that the desires of our hearts, they too shall come to pass. And that's what I was about to get into, because about 2 years ago, I was riding down the road and I was thinking about the challenges just in general. I faced some challenges in the workplace, and they've given me some different um, hurdles to rediscover and rebuild myself around, and you know uh, ignited my passion. And there's also, I was
You
just
facing
showing.
challenges is what you're saying? You facing challenges yourself?
Oh, yeah, I believe many people have. I believe
Uh-huh.
I believe many people have. and
Okay.
and I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is a page in a book that I wrote this back in 2011. And the reason being is because social media was something of a problem that I saw at that time. And I just didn't quite understand how we would go about resolving that or making it better. And I continued over time, over the last 13 years, to see what I would describe as a debacle that came to a head, in my opinion, this past Wednesday, in a hearing where congressional hearing where they brought the founders and the leaders of social media platforms in. And if
You
you
see
guys
social media as a problem?
social media, well, there was one of the politicians there. It's not about my opinion. I'll share what they said. They said that they believe that, this is to Zuckerberg, they said that they believe that his platform's goal was to be the leader in sex trafficking. Not my words. Not my words. Um,
Come on now.
it's
No, nobody that I know wants to be the leader in sex trafficking.
I mean, they at least they wouldn't say it out loud, and
I don't
hopefully
know
you wouldn't keep
anyone that.
that type of company. However, we would agree that that is an industry, um, that is uh, that is there. I don't understand it. I've never participated. I've never researched it. I don't know anything about it, but it's there. We all have heard about it, and we all understand the ugliness of it. And this was an allegation or something that was said to him.
Okay.
The reason why I'm making that statement is because 2 years ago, as I already said, I was looking at this social media as an issue. I said, social media needs to be more responsible. And that's actually something they said to him too. They said, your social media doesn't have any responsibility. And then it was talking about people who search images of children that I don't even know. I don't even want to say the words, but images that should not be allowed to be searched, and how the platform would allow you to say, see these images anyway. And they were saying, why would you allow that? And then they were saying, your platform needs to be more responsible. Well, 2 years ago, I was driving down the road just right outside of my neighborhood, and it dawned on me, responsible social, resposal. And I said, that's what we are. One integration is resposal media. We're not social media. We'll leave that up to them. And we'll be resposal. And so on Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
it was a great day to be resposal. Because did you see any of this, Merc? What did you think as you were watching this?
Well, I generally don't get into politics.
Neither do I. And I
Oh,
haven't gotten I haven't I've been very biased in this. Hopefully, that's come across. I didn't say left or right, right or left. What I said was, this is what they said to the leader of this social media platform. And so nothing political about that, just sharing the current event. That's what we said this show was mostly about.
well, I did see how they grilled him, and I saw that it was getting hot around the collar, and he he appeared to be pressed at the time that I was watching the clip of the political people grilling Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Yeah. I encourage you all to go out and see it for yourself, whoever should happen to see this at any given point in time. I also have a few questions, um, followed by a call to action, and then I'll show a commercial. The questions, the first question is, how long would you stay in a relationship with that lacked integrity? And so the reason why I asked the question that way is because those people were questioning the integrity of social media as a whole. And I would say I have done the same, especially when me as a technologist, I've spent 20 years in technology, building and selling and understanding. And I know that there's this thing called an IP address that tells the back end of any technology platform exactly where you are. And then there's a unique identifier that says whether or not you're on device 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or whatever in your house and or in your home. And when the social media players tell humanity that they have to pay any amount of money to prove to anyone that they are who they are, when we know that you can log into your bank and they don't require you to pay them for that. And then Netflix at the same time will tell you that they know when
What are you
your
talking
mother
about,
and
man? Who said that they wanted to pay me to know who I was?
yeah, that's what that blue check was about. Remember they said they needed you to give them your
I didn't
information.
get the blue check.
Well, that's because you know better. And if you did, I would have to come to your house and uncheck your blue check because that's nonsense.
Unless I pay for it.
Yeah, I would be saying let's submit this documentation to get a refund because that blue check doesn't prove anything outside of the fact that you gave them $14.99. So or however much they charged you for that because um, they know the real from the fake by the IP addresses. And so I myself have
But I
received
might
friend.
really want one of those blue checks. They might make me popular if I'm not already.
Well, I'll tell you what, pray about it. And if the spirit moves you to get a blue check, then I encourage it. I did connect with my creator, and I heard it loud and clear.
What's God
No.
got with it?
God's got a lot to do with everything. And so
The blue
uh
check?
yeah, he says test everything is what the scripture says. Test, test, test. And so, I mean, not knocking anyone that has a blue check, but it doesn't prove that you're real. I should say that. Um, it doesn't prove that you're real. It doesn't say that the blue check people aren't hackers or not bots. It doesn't say that. It doesn't mean that. Now, the technology itself on the back end, they do have the ability to determine what's a bot from what's not. And for some reason, they have determined that that wasn't a high priority, and so that must mean that they find some value in the bots. And so that's the reason why we created One Integration Resposal so that people can have an alternative to go to a place where I can assure you that there are no bots. And I can assure you that I can explain exactly how the algorithm, quote unquote, works because our algorithm inside of One Integration is really all about your choice. It's about
Now,
whichever
I'm
plan.
listening to you
Yeah.
once again. Definitely not trying to be disrespectful or cut you off.
Yeah.
But some people would say that you
Yeah.
sound like a hater, and then they would want to know, do you have a blue check? And your argument sounds like someone that doesn't have a blue check, and perhaps you're jealous. Are you jealous?
You know, the way that I would answer that question is by demonstrating something that I like to live by, and that is it's okay whatever anyone thinks because one's thoughts are really the product of their subconsciousness and this thing called auto suggestion. And so I don't have control over that. The the person actually has control over that by what they choose to digest into their subconsciousness, which then their auto suggestion then does what it's supposed to do, which is to guide your conclusions or your thoughts. And so, with that being said, it if we just go back and look over time, there's no one that has been universally accepted by the entire body or mass of humanity. And so that's not my goal. And so I've been called crazy. I have been called, I don't know, a bunch of things. I've been called a genius. I think about being called a genius and crazy about the same. Those are the byproduct of one subconsciousness and auto suggestion, and I welcome any of that. And so, as an artist, that's another thing about creating, is because I create for myself. I create because of what I am called to do, and what I create aligns with my purpose and my mission. And my mission is to build technology that would allow for us to move and propel humanity forward, to modernize the tool set of of the things we have to deliver those things that I care about in life, which is for everyone to be treated fairly, and for us to be able to all pursue our goals and connect with our creative imagination and our purpose. And so, hater, crazy, genius, I welcome it all. But I will tell you, I did just give myself a blue check. I gave it to I this is a blue pen and this is a pink pad, and maybe you can see it. There's my blue check. So that's the only blue check that I think I'll be having for myself.
Oh, so you never answered the question. You're getting back into those politics or those antics that the politicians use. So, um, I'll ask for the people again. Do you have a blue check or not? Okay. Um, because you got a little philosophical on us. And before you hit us with some more esoteric type information, do you have the blue check or not?
Yeah, I did answer the question right here. This is my blue check. I just gave it to myself.
Do you have a blue check on the social medias that you are claiming to replace?
Never. Never.
Oh, okay.
Never.
Okay.
Never would I pay them to prove who I am.
Okay.
When it has already been proven.
So it hasn't always been that you have to pay to get a blue check. So what you're now telling us is that before people paid for the blue check, you didn't have one.
No, of course not.
Of course not. What?
No, I've never had a blue check.
Oh, okay.
I never had a blue check, and to be honest, I question those who do.
Those people with blue checks, they seem to be highly successful influencers. That's what they seem to be from the outside looking in. Because I myself don't have
What
a
are
blue
they?
check.
What are they influencing us to do? What are they influencing people to do?
They're not influencing me to do anything, but it depends on what the
What does
blue
it mean
check.
to you when you see a blue check?
When I see a blue check, I say, whoever that individual is has a lot of influence over some followers, either the followers that they have or some advertisers or some marketers, and they're getting some value from the followers or the marketers or the
Okay,
advertisers.
so question for you. Question. So if you have a blue check, then that means that you believe that having a blue check means something. That means that you want to make sure people understand you are who you are. That's what my assumption is for the people with the blue checks. Would you agree?
Not necessarily. I mean, it doesn't. I don't think it's mutually exclusive, right? Like, I don't think.
So why have
I,
a blue check then? Why? What is the purpose?
I don't think the people with the blue checks went and beat the social media people over the head and forced them to give them a blue check. I think they have a blue check just by virtue of them being able to influence people or marketers or advertisers or followers or whoever, people.
So
They influence
do they
people. So
do they value the blue check?
some do. I'm sure some may not.
Okay.
I've spoken to some people who had the blue check and do not value the blue check. I've engaged with some people who have the blue check and appreciate the blue check for what the blue check represents for them.
Well, my question to both of those groups is because you talked about influence and followers.
Mm-hmm.
How do they know that their followers are real, that their followers don't have blue checks? Because remember, the blue check is supposed to be able to tell people that these people are real. And if they're if they don't know if their followers are real or fake, because this is what the social media platform said, then do they are they sure that they're influencing someone, or what's really going on? It just, to me, the whole value prop falls apart.
I hear you. I hear you. Now, I don't know. I don't have a blue check, like I said, but the individuals that I've seen and I've encountered that do have the blue check, they seem to communicate at some point with some of their followers enough that they are influencing something. And also on the social medias, it seems that there's a monetary value in it, right? So because they have the blue check, they're able to monetize their followers, right? And so in that case, I can see why someone would want a blue check if it's going to allow you to monetize the influence you have over people, right?
But how do you know that those pictures are actually people? Because those pictures don't have blue checks and they just might be bots. And
That's
so,
that's that's very possible, right? But when those people continue to exhibit the behavior they exhibit because of monetary value, right? And when they come on, we're talking Instagram, right? So well, we could be talking anything, but just say you go live and some of your followers or the people that you or the bots that you influence are communicating with those bots or followers on their lives, whether they're real or not, they're interacting with you and bringing you more monetary gain. So I
man,
don't know if it even matters that they're real or not, right? Because I if I'm getting paid, if I'm not hurting my family or hurting anybody, and I'm getting paid from a real person or from a bot person or a bot character, but money is coming into my account because they're interacting with me and I'm not hurting anybody.
well,
I don't know if it really, I don't
well,
know if it matters if they're real or not.
well, I'll say this.
What are you gonna say?
Remember when we would have those conversations about crypto
Yes,
and NFTs, and I
yes.
would tell you that's gonna crumble. It's fake. Those people are buying their own NFTs, trying to set the market for it. Crypto. Why are there so many different? Why is there proliferation of all of these different crypto types and all the rest of this? And then boom, one day the bottom falls out. Elon Musk is under assault for Dogecoin, and all the price of Dogecoin, the bottom fell out of it just before he was due to purchase Twitter, and all of this debacle. And all of these celebrities who are out there talking about invest in crypto, and influencers with the blue checks, do this and do that, put your money in this. Did any of those people who were saying all of that with those blue checks, were any of them held accountable for the influence that they placed into people's subconsciousness and those people losing their money?
No, that I know.
Okay, so did they hurt people or not?
They did hurt. Some people were hurt for sure.
So that's the reason why the blue check means nothing. And that's the reason why social media needs to be responsible, because social media has a history of allowing people that have in real life amassed some level of brand based off of them playing in sports or being on the radio or whatever it is. And they begin to talk about things where maybe not their area of expertise, because somebody paid them to say something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say it, and then other people don't realize that that person is reading from a script, or somebody told them to say it, and they have very little skin in the game, only upside, no downside. And then we go put our real money into a computer screen, into a payment gate, and then the money is gone, and then we are left here in our families, and the generational wealth that we were looking to build is out the door, and the guy or the gal with the blue check is blue checking on somewhere else to say something different. And so I think for me, like I said, it came to a head last week when those people had some very, 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 very challenging questions, including but not limited to questioning whether or not the goal was around sex trafficking or child indecency, and all of these different things that I assure you that one integration and social media will never be associated with. And if it should ever happen, then we'll go down a path in the light and hiding nothing, because that's just who we are. And right now, what I heard from those guys, specifically Zuckerberg last week, was a lot of I don't knows. Ironically, I read a post and there was some conversation that showed that Facebook stock was up and that they were doing a buyback of stock at the end of last week. And so I would even say that I don't even know if that is real, because there's a way for people to manipulate the market as well, to be able to say, hey, look, even us being questioned around our authenticity and our integrity will not deter our stock price. I don't believe that humanity is going to stand around and participate in foolishness for very long, especially when a new alternative emerges, especially one that gives you choice. And so my second question, I never got around to it, is, has anybody figured out, what kills me is when I'm scrolling and I'm looking on social media and somebody says, keep scrolling if you don't want to grow your social media platform.
That kills you?
That kills me. I die and then I come back alive. You mean to tell me that somebody has explained to them how the algorithm works? They figured it out?
They don't know any more than you do. But such is human nature, right? Like, the thing, you have very valid arguments and issues that you've brought to the table, but that's human nature all the way around. Buyback is nothing different from Facebook. Is nothing that Twitter or other firms had done. I'm sure, I believe I heard some similar, maybe back Carnegie or Rockefeller, someone back then. Same things were happening where they were buying back shares of their stock or their company in order to get the upper hand on a competitor or what have you. In addition to the same things that are happening when people are lying to people and all the information is not there, is the same thing that happens in the stock market. It's the same thing that happens just in everyday life. So though you make good arguments, that doesn't mean that people aren't about the foolishness. People have
Everybody
been
has
about the
choice. Yeah,
foolishness for
yeah.
centuries, for decades, for centuries.
Not everybody's gonna make it.
Even in the face of a better alternative,
Not
they
everybody's
will,
not everybody's not everybody's gonna make it.
not everybody's gonna, but making it is in the eye of the beholder, right? Just
And
just because more people buy Coke doesn't mean that Cokes actually taste better than Pepsi. It just means that people are gonna do what they're gonna do regardless, no
I
matter what
agree.
option is out there.
I agree. And for me, as we approach, man, time flies when you're having good fun and you're a great character. I think we probably should wrap it up.
Okay.
We're approaching 50 minutes. And I want to talk about after this kind of where we see this going. But I would say in response to that, I've always had a very high sense of self.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been cool with those who they're not feeling me.
Mm-hmm.
Just as long as they don't touch me, they don't
Mm-hmm.
harm me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes something different. That's what I'm dealing with here with this corporate workplace issue.
Okay.
There was harm done to me. And so, just a moment ago, let me just make sure it's seen. This is
What I see on in
yeah,
between your fingers is Oak Cliff. That's what I see.
yeah. Oak Cliff.
Okay.
Oak Cliff made. And so we embrace not being chose. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just as long as you don't harm us. And so for those who want to say lost in the sauce and playing around in the street and not understanding what this algorithm is doing, we welcome it. We actually don't want, and I don't plan to leave social media. We plan to build it into the strategy.
Okay.
And so we're going to play in the street as well, but we're also going to have a place where we can come and quiet the noise. And that's the reason why they have the algorithm that we don't understand. And then Ontegration has the algorithm that gives you choice. And so
Okay.
we're all for choice. And I can go right now and I can say help
Mm-hmm.
on social media. And I have no idea who's going to see that. Maybe no one. There's been plenty of times when
Or
you and
maybe
I
everyone, but what can they?
No, it's not. Everyone's not going to see it. You have not. How many posts? How long have you participated on social media? And how many
I've been on
times
social media for quite a while.
and how many times has everyone that follows you saw your post?
I don't believe ever. I mean,
Okay.
but people just might not be checking for me like that.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Right. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Inside of Resposal Media, which is Ontegration,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be able to give you more insights into.
Will you now?
Yes, because the people who select to see your content or participate in your space, like you have the Merc Universe community inside of Ontegration,
Indeed.
because they chose that and chose to follow you. When they go to their feed, that's what's on their feed, not this other stuff that they didn't ask for. I see stuff on my feed on all these other social media sites like, whose bright idea was this? I don't even know who these people are. And then I might type in your name and and when I type in your name, it'll say 9 new posts. how could I ever have missed 9 posts from someone that I want to see? Well, you won't have that issue as long as you sign in to Social Media and One Integration and you go to your feed and they have selected to see you, me, or whoever, then that's what they will see. Now, inside of that space, you get access to more spaces based off of your subscription level. So there's a basic, there's a Resposal offering, and there's our diverse perspective offering. One of them is consider Resposal being like access to resources like Resposal jobs, Resposal well-being, Resposal human relations, Resposal law, legal, having access to those types of resources and communities. And then if you take the top subscription, it'll give you all of those, but also give you access to our business community as well in those set of resources. And so I'm not saying it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We're far from done. We're just getting started.
But you're putting forward. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Definitely. And so as we come to a close, I want to get your thoughts on for you to share with anyone that may see this, like, where do we envision this platform going from here?
Well, in my opinion, the sky's the limit, right? Like, as long as you're pushing the envelope and you're trying to do right by the people, sometimes the people will do right by you. And if it's something that they can use, especially in social media, that is giving them an option that they can't get elsewhere, they may choose it. And if it's not hurting anyone, right? So if you can provide the people with the information and the abilities that they want, without many errors or glitches or anything, then I think that it could be a fantastic platform, right? And like I said, the sky's the limit as to where you can go, because when you introduce new technology, better technology, safe technology, people want that. I want that. I mean, I can't say that everybody wants what I want, but people want to have a good time, a safe time. They want to be entertained, and they want for their view to matter. And so, if you can provide that on your platform, I think that you can have yourself a good old time with it, and I believe that you're going to be uber successful.
Well, the only thing I would change are the words you and your
Mm-hmm.
and those possessive type words, because what I do is for us. Um, when I
Also,
first start,
inclusivity is also a very good thing for people in community,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I
and
can't take
so
ownership of something that I didn't create, though, right? But I am more than happy to partner and be a part of the dream and bring everybody that's not trying to harm me as much goodness and success as they would like to have.
um, I would argue that you have participated in the creation of everything that we have. When 2 years ago, I've known you for, call it 15 years. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago is when we started to collaborate more closely and professionally. It was at a time where I was walking the path by myself. And I saw your work. I didn't quite get it. And you were shooting yourself into the air in form of a Merc emoji and looked like Iron Man and all the rest of these things. And so we started to collaborate. And now we've gotten to the place where, if I just talk about one of the pieces that we did in the past for a One Integration client who wasn't treated fairly in the workplace, one of those things you have to decide when you're standing up for yourself is whether or not you want to put your face on the front line of something, because everybody, it's natural, I should say, to think about whether or not you've been blackballed. I've heard people tell me that, oh yeah, I wouldn't support you because of what you do. And I respect that. It's no hard feelings. I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate the transparency. For me, this was the way, because I was called to demonstrate to others what it looked like to move forward in the face of fear. There's fear still present, but we must have the courage to move forward. And my calling, not everyone's calling, my calling was to do it with my face and my voice attached to it. And we have used your creation to replicate the scenarios that have happened to people that have been wronged in the workplace, and they didn't have to use their likeness, but they still felt like they were able to speak up because of your gifts and your purpose and your calling. And so when you talk about, this being mine or whatever the case is, I prefer words like ours and us. Um, and that's not just to you, that's to everyone that chooses to join and participate. The reality of this platform and the vision was, I had a choice to decide whether or not the pain and discomfort and the trauma that I faced was something that I was willing to just solve for myself or address for myself, or having a background in sales and technology and a heart to help others. And a question that I'd always been asking is, what is my purpose? I heard Chadwick Boseman say that the jobs and those experiences were just to prepare us for purpose. And so I saw it and said, oh no, the goal here and the purpose of this pain and these experiences is so I can build a solution that allows for others to participate in being the solution for not just this issue, but yeah, we're going to take care of this issue, but for any issue that people feel deeply about. And so I want to thank you for being a willing participant. I look forward to, if I'm going to answer my own question, where do I see this platform going? I see us having guests. I see us traveling to different locations. I see us throwing. We're loading up to be able to throw to have a virtual wine tasting to talk about community, and we're partnering with Austin Hope Wines. If anyone's familiar with their Cabernet, is my wife loves it. And then we're also moving into the physical event space to have panel discussions and social hours so that people can, like I say, I like to say, press the flesh. And so we'll have the digital spaces, but we'll also have the physical spaces and the virtual meetings so that people can know that who they're talking to, it's an authentic, real person that actually cares about the things that they care about. Together, we can collectively strategize and go out and execute in whatever area we feel like is worth our time and effort. So with that being said, I'm going to call it. This has been the TechScenio Hall Show, episode 1. I am Tech P. He is
Mark Hall of Mercury.
Peace.
Thanks for your time. I appreciate you having me on. And yeah, it sounds like a win-win for everybody.
Everyone, www.oneintegration.com to find out about all these things that we talked about. If you're interested in recreating yourself and being able to use it for a business case or for fun, you can go to www.ourdiverseperspectives.com, sign up for a virtual likeness consultation. Merc will be your guy. I'll be around as well. And for anything else, just reach out to us. We're looking forward to serving you all for the rest of the time until the lights get cut off for me in this place on this plane. Peace.